John Lusk here of Lusk Archery Adventures. Series testing, successful hunting. Today I'm going to be testing another budget NOCK by DEEPOWER. And you may have seen some of my other tests by DEEPOWER. They've made some really incredible broadheads for an amazing budget price. If you haven't seen those tests, please just check them out here on my channel. But I also tested these NOCKs that they came out with. And those initial lighted NOCKs had like a collar that was the on-off switch. And I really liked them. I tested them. They did fairly well. I've used them quite a bit. One of the things I didn't care so much for over time as I tested them was that when you would put them on the string, a number of times they would just light up. So if you're in the target range, okay, that's fine. If you're out in the woods and you knock an arrow and it lights up, you got to like turn it off. And it's easy to turn off, but that was kind of a pain. So they've come out with a new model, and this has a different on-off switch. In just a minute here, I'm going to zoom on in here and show you how it works. But it's much more secure. And so when you attach it to the arrow, it doesn't light up. It needs an extra force to be able to light up, like the bowstring really pressing down on it. And then you just slide it back. So it's a different mechanism. And I saw that they came out with this, and I'm eager to check it out. I mean, the price of these is about 1/3 the price of all the other lighted NOCKs. Okay, so if they can work for 1/3 the price, then it's really worth checking out. So I want to see if they're really worthwhile. Now I'm going to be testing the NOCKs, okay? And these are just specific to the NOCKs. They don't have the extra bushing that makes them universal, though they also sell those. I'll show those in just a second. But this makes it a little bit lighter, not having that extra bushing. They come in at 32 grains per NOCK. Now they have these other ones that say like these, where you can go from a 165, a G NOCK, to put that little bushing in there, a 204 bushing you can add, or this one is the 204 X NOCK, or you can put in the bushing to go to 233, 244, and 246. So you've got pretty much everything covered there. I'm just going to be testing the NOCK. They also make crossbow NOCKs, and they have those specific to the 300s. But then they have the universal ones where you can go 285, 297, 300, or 305, just depending on what you really want to use. So let's zoom on in here and check out this NOCK by DEEPOWER with this on-off switch, and see how it performs. And then I'm going to be putting it through every test I can imagine, okay? Just shooting it through things to see if it turns off. I'm going to put it in water. I'm going to try low temperatures to see how that works, as well as just shoot it a bunch of times, hard impact. I just want to put it through every test I can imagine to see how well it's going to perform, as well as I'm going to test it for the longevity of how long the light can stay on. So let's zoom on in here and check out this new lighted NOCK by DEEPOWER. So here's the way it works. You just put it on the string, and what I like about it is, unlike the previous model that DEEPOWER had, it doesn't activate when you first put it on the string. Sometimes a previous model did that. This is a lot less sensitive. It snaps on initially, and you got to really press it on hard, or the bow shot will do it in order to get that second snap, and then it lights. And then to turn it off, there's just this little switch right here that you just use your nail and slide it back. So really nice. Snaps on the string, fits really secure. Snaps on the shot, turns on. To turn it off, just slide that back with your nail, and you're good to go. On the left, you have a green DEEPOWER NOCK, and on the right, you have a red Nocturnal. And they're both really bright. I don't know how to compare and see which one's brighter. The red looks a little bit brighter, but maybe that's just because it's red. But anyway, they're both really bright. The DEEPOWER is sufficiently bright. Okay, now we're going to test it with water, and I'll dip it in the water and then see if it activates, and then dip it in the water, activated, and see if it stays activated. Hold it there for a few seconds. Yep, activates fine. Hold it there for a few seconds. Yep, turns off fine. Now I'm going to put it in the freezer at 0 degrees and see how it does with cold temperatures. Here it is almost 3 hours later, and it's still lit, doing well. Now I want to see if it stays lit if it has a really hard impact, like this 1/2-inch MDF. Yep, stayed lit, no problem. And I did this multiple times and had the same result every time. Now I'm going to shoot it through 2 sides of a cardboard box multiple times to see if that causes the button to be pushed and have it turn off, or if it stays lit. I shot it through a dozen times and it stayed lit after every shot. It never turned off. So what'd you think of the NOCKs? I gotta tell you, I was really impressed, okay? I wasn't sure how much I'd like this kind of a switch, but I actually like it a lot more than their original one. And at 1/3 the price of other lighted NOCKs on the market, they're really worth a look. I mean, I love using lighted NOCKs, but just the price is pretty prohibitive, but not with these. And I put them through every test I can imagine, and they performed really well. Now, the only thing that I wasn't able to do is test them like with hundreds and hundreds of shots or go through multiple packs of them. And sometimes with an off-brand, I'm not really sure about the quality control like that, but I can say for the pack that I had, for all the tests that I did, it just performed flawlessly. So I really like what they've done here. And as for the life of the lighted NOCK, okay, this one, I don't know if you can see it, okay, because it's pretty bright in here, but I lit this one, I turned it on exactly 1 month ago, okay? It was April 15th in the morning. It's now the evening of May 15th. And it's still lit, okay? I couldn't believe it. I came downstairs and looked and it's still lit. This thing has been on for a month and it's still going strong. So, man, they definitely last. And they come in like green and blue and red and also a strobing one. I imagine the strobing one isn't gonna last as long with that cycling like that. But I used the strobing one on a hunt recently. I don't know if you saw that hog hunt video in Florida. And it was really cool because I shot a hog with the strobing NOCK, and it went into these palmettos. I knew it was a good shot. I got down, looked at the blood. Okay, I'm like, okay, I'm going to find that, but I'm going to get back up in the stand and see if I can shoot some more first. And so then I was in the stand a little while, and then I turned around and just was looking behind me, and something caught my eye, and I looked, and I realized it's the strobing light of my NOCK. The hog had run into the palmettos like over here, and then after it had gone in, it had cut to the side and went down, and I'm sure I would have found it because there was a lot of blood, but man, it saved me a whole trip through all those palmettos because I could just see it way over here, and I wouldn't have gone directly in that direction were it not for that strobing NOCK. So the strobing ones are really cool because you can see them from a distance really easily. They catch your eye a bit more than the solids, but the solids are going to last a little bit longer, okay, in their life. But anyway, great job, DEEPOWER. I love these NOCKs. I'm going to be using them more in the future. And I really appreciate all the different broadheads that you've come out with, and the price at which you're doing all this is really impressive.